dash out the door in the morning chewing on a piece of it, and I don't.
Is it any good?
It is, really. It's good. It's like a big brown bread.
And what's it called again?
Malsovit. M-A-L-S-O-V-I-T.
A controversial move, the government...
And not sold in every Kmart, obviously.
No, they've, in fact, they've got an 800 number I have to call whenever I'm going out of town. It's getting to be ridiculous now. When I go out of town, I take a little tin of this stuff with me in a frozen condition, and then it thaws out in a couple of days. And people are beginning to think I'm a little weird because I go out to dinner with them, and all I'll have is a bowl of soup and my 2 slices of bread. But it works.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it does. But so does Nutrisystem.
Yeah, that's true, too.
And there you get to eat a complete diet of all the stuff you like, just about. I lost 30 pounds on Nutrisystem.
But this is easier to travel with, in my view, than Nutrisystems. Yeah, but Nutrisystems works, too. Most of these, where they've got the packaged food, it's the idea that you're dealing with a particular food, whether it's this bread or whether it's that.
Yeah. Well, then you didn't eat anything but this bread?
Oh, no, you eat other things with it. You make sandwiches out of it. You have that in conjunction with a light dinner or a salad or something like that.
But generally, it's what it is. It fills you up so that you're not eating as much of whatever else you're eating.
It becomes a substitute.
We need to talk about this disaster reinsurance. You know, you're the only person I ever heard that knows anything about this.
Al Swift has just signed on with this, the congressman.
So there is an act.
There is the beginnings of legislation.
Okay,
yes.
This has even got a name, I understand. Where did I put that?
Yeah, I believe that he's calling it the National Earthquake Insurance Act. I'm not exactly sure.
What happened to National Natural Hazards Reinsurance Act?
That's what I want to see, and this is what has been discussed by numerous members of the insurance industry and several different associations, and it's been purported as one of the solutions or one of the possible names for such an act.
I have a zillion and 5 questions for you on this.
Okay.
And let's see.
This is a zillion and 5 answers.
All right, good. Tell me how your wife is.
Doing fine.
How's your daughter?
Fine. Just fine. She's in her last couple of weeks of first year of college, and grades are doing pretty good.
Well,
pretty proud of her.
Despite the fact that she got a new car?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that was a calculated risk.
It was indeed. But it's worked out.
That's neat.
I'm very pleased with the responsibility.
That's good.
It's hard to believe I've got a 19-year-old, though. That's...
You got another book on the way?
Yeah, 2 more. The novel will be out in August.
What are you going to call the novel? Have you decided? Remember, you're on national television. Aha! Final Approach.
Final Approach. That was the one you liked.
Yes!
Right.
Good.
And
remember the one I gave you? Are you going to write one called Outer Marker?
I am thinking about it because I've got a story idea that might just fit with
it. You know, I love that title. I'm in love with the title. I think it would sell.
I think I'm dying to get you a copy, but I don't have even my galleys yet. But it is out in bound galley.
Final Approach is terrific. I love that.
I think it'll work. It's going to be the first. I think it's literally the only one that's been written in about 15 years that has any authenticity with the airline industry.
Here's another.
I'm sorry. Say again. I didn't have my headphone in.
Out of the net, and note that at 13 you're going to go straight to Wayne, and out of Wayne you have a live one yourself. Okay.
Okay. All right. Direct to the King County story with Frank Abe.
Right. However, the goof-proof policy does mean that Kmart will either reprint your photos or
Wayne Cody with a live commercial.
Know that America's #1 film developer cares, even if you don't.
I don't know where he is. He's at Denny's.
At Denny's.
Welcome to more of KIRO Midday at 6 minutes after 11 o'clock. It's mostly sunny still down at SeaTac Airport, 62 degrees. A King County jury has reached a verdict in the murder trial of a Sacramento man who was accused of gunning down his former girlfriend and another man on the University of Washington campus. KIRO News Radio 71's Frank Abe is at the courthouse, and as soon as the verdict is known, he will let us know. Well, you know, when there is an earthquake, when there is a flood, when there is some devastating national disaster, people say, I've never known such a helpless feeling. Suddenly, all their plans are gone. All of their assets are sacrificed, and they feel lucky to escape with their lives and the clothes on their back. But when the earth stops shaking, you begin to think, why couldn't there have been some affordable insurance against all this? Here is John Nance, whom you probably know from countless interviews across the country and here on KIRO Midday as an expert on not only aircraft safety, but also on natural disasters and most recently earthquakes. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Jim. Good to be with you.
Good to have you here. What's this about a national reinsurance program?
We've got a problem here in that when earthquakes strike, they are horribly destructive in particular areas, and much more so than a windstorm or even a flood or even something like Hurricane Hugo. And we simply don't have the ability for the insurance industry, operating as it does now on a state-by-state basis, to be able to write enough earthquake insurance policies and protect the people in a particular area and be able to pay it. This is one of those few times that national governmental intervention is needed in order to homogenize the risk nationwide.
Let's see. This would mean, so as you say, reinsurance. It doesn't mean that we would be buying a federal insurance policy.
No, not at all. Matter of fact, what we're doing basically, let me give you a scenario why
Good.
the thing is needed. First of all, we've got Los Angeles and our own area of Seattle-Tacoma sitting in the shadow of seismic disaster. We've known L.A. was there. We know seismologically they're going to get hit with something that'll probably be a $60 billion loss overall within about 25 years. Now, out of that $60 billion, as much as $20 billion may be insured loss. The problem is that the reinsurance that has been purchased by the insurance companies that wrote a lot of that coverage may go away. It's not Lloyd's of London. Some of it's offshore, and some of it may not honor the policies. The companies may collapse. We need to have some reinsurance organization that is thoroughly trustworthy and that has a fund built up. That's the number one problem. The second problem is just making insurance affordable nationwide for earthquake and all natural disasters.
Yeah, well, the fund seems to be the key to it, and as I understand it, there is a way that this is somehow going to come from revenues that we already have?
Yeah, well, not that we already have so much as what we can produce immediately. There's precedent for this. After World War II, New Zealand began a war fund, as they called it, and it has now been expanded to include insurance for earthquakes and for natural disasters, and it's many billions and billions of dollars. What you do is you have a homogeneous